As cricketers, we all like to hold a good piece of wood. In all seriousness though, we have been gracious enough to receive 4 different price range bats from MRF, and we're going to do a little bit of a test with players of differing abilities. We're going to have some high school players, an academy player, and an ex-pro. They're going to bat with each of the bats and then give you their thoughts. The cheapest bat that you have been given is a VK 3.0. It costs plus minus $120 and it is 4th grade willow. Slightly up in price is the VK 1.0 and it costs plus minus $240 and it is 3rd grade willow. The second most expensive bat that you have been given is the MRF run machine and it costs plus minus $400 and it is a grade 2 willow. The most expensive bat that you have been given is the MRF Grand Edition 1.0. This bat costs plus minus $800 and it is grade 1 unbleached English willow. Our first set of players are some high school players. Let's see how it goes.
The first thing we did was take all 4 bats, give it to the 2 players and let them hit a few balls with each. It was very entertaining watching them mess up a few times just because I guess the camera adds a little bit of pressure. From there, we just went into our standard ping test, letting the 2 players bounce a few balls off of the bat just to get a feeling of how it reacts to the ball. What was interesting, you could definitely hear how much softer some wood was compared to others.
Orange order 1, 2, 3 and 4. Jared, switch these 2 around.
At this point, all we did was reveal which bat was which, from most to least expensive. Both of these boys did a fantastic job in identifying which was the most and least expensive. They just switched the 2 middle ones around. Oren preferred the run machine and Jared the VK 1.0.
So boys, knowing this, would you be able to go into a match with any of these 3 realistically?
Yeah.
You would probably prefer one of these 2.
Yeah.
And you would probably prefer one of these 2.
Yeah. Second up, we have an academy player. Let's see if there are any differences here.
The first bat we gave Jono was the VK 1.0. You could immediately hear the harder wood. Next up was the MRF run machine, and although the wood quality is a lot better, you could almost notice him struggling to time the ball a bit more. The second to last bat we gave Jono to use was the MRF Grand Edition. In this one you could absolutely hear how soft the wood was, and a big notice point here was how far the miss hits were going. There were 1 or 2 that you could definitely see went way further than it should have.
This bat's definitely better.
The final bat we gave him was the VK 3.0, which is the cheapest one. And although it was the cheapest, Jono timed every single ball.
So after Jono felt 6 balls with each of the 4 bats, I'm going to ask him to place it from the left to the right in the order he thought the bats felt the best.
My first bat's number 3. Next up is number 4, then number 1, and then number 2.
Now to demonstrate that choosing a bat is about feel, we're going to reveal which bat's the most expensive. The most expensive bat is number 3, MRF Grand Edition. The second most expensive bat is number 2, the MRF Run Machine. Our third most expensive bat is number 1, the VK 1.0. And then finally, the cheapest bat of the bunch is number 4, the VK 3.0. What are you thinking now?
I'm shocked.
You're shocked?
And finally up, we have Zendon. He obviously knows the price of the bats, so he's just going to hit with each bat and give you a general opinion of each as he goes. A massive thank you to our sponsor MRF for allowing us the opportunity to do this video and for providing the bats. We do have a discount code with them. Unfortunately, this discount code is only valid in South Africa, but it will be linked in the description below with their website.
Like that one felt great out of the middle. Very hard, which makes sense because it is an entry-level bat. Next up, we go slightly up in price range to the 1.0. Feels great out of the middle. I think the big thing with all of these bats is they all feel great out of the middle. It's about when it's not in the middle where you feel the massive differences. Like that. That off-center defense, the amount of shock that goes through your hands. Saying that, if you're a good player, you probably wouldn't be hitting it where I'm hitting it. I think if you are looking to go 1 level up from beginner, I think that's a perfect bat to go to. Doesn't break the bank, and in the middle it feels great. Next up, the run machine, slight increase in price again. Okay, so you definitely get a bit more room for forgiveness. Off-centered on the inside and it still felt like it pinged. Just feels like it gives you a little bit more confidence. Overall, it definitely feels a lot softer. It feels like it almost grabs the ball and releases it a bit. Let's go to the last one. Go to Grand Edition. This is close to your player's grade. Like immediately. Off-center defense. And it feels as soft as butter. And again, like those aren't in the middle. It feels like the bat's dampening it quite a bit. Flick shot felt incredible. In the middle of a bat. Completely feels like, almost like a springboard. The bat takes the ball and then kicks it away.
Everyone could easily identify the grade 1 willow. But as it got down the grades and the bats got a bit closer to each other, it became more dependent on the pickup and the feel for each player. The best course of action would be to go to your nearest cricket shop and pick up a couple of bats. Try and choose the bat that's the best grade of willow within your price range. Do not go beyond your means to try and be a better cricketer. You'll be just as good with a bat that feels comfortable to you.